title, Naveed?
Webinar.
No, my title. Aziz's title.
Mr. Abdulaziz Musa.
No, sorry, I mean, what's my title at the school? Governor.
Oh,
Chair.
yes.
Oh,
Let me
yes.
introduce everyone.
Yes.
Mr. Aziz Musa, he was the parent governor and he's now promoted as a chair governor. Welcome to your new role, Mr. Aziz Musa. It is a pleasure having you around us. And now you will be an essential part of our meetings.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Even we have updated our webpage today as well.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure check the website.
Yes. As you go onto the staff page, you will see SLT, and there you are sitting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Even when we informed the teachers, when I sent an email to the teachers to join in the webinar, at that time I mentioned the chair governor of the school will do the meeting. So everyone is aware of it. Although we'll never get a chance to meet again.
Awesome. All right. Well, great. So looking forward to cracking on with this webinar. So as you just heard, I'm Aziz, Chair Governor of Heaven Learning Academy. We'll just give everyone a quick second to introduce himself. Ms. Najia.
Mr. Aziz, sorry. Have you started recording?
Yeah, I've started recording.
Sorry.
We'll start again. Don't worry about it. No, because it all gets edited anyway.
Title as school like chair governor. It will be more influential.
I'll do it on LinkedIn as well. I will later on in the week. I'll update my LinkedIn title.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, you can start again.
Let's go. So, hello everybody, and welcome to this Heaven Learning Academy webinar. I am Aziz, the Parent Chair Governor, and got lots of teachers and lots of people from Heaven Learning Academy with us today. So, Ms. Najia, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, hello everyone. I am Najia Naveed. I'm the head teacher of Heaven Learning Academy. Welcome to our webinar.
And Mr. Naveed.
Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Naveed Rahman. I'm director of Heaven Learning Academy. This is our webinar. I believe this is fourth webinar. And thank you very much, Mr. Aziz. I appreciate it. Please beat my team.
Fantastic. And Grace.
My name is Grace. I am a teacher at Heaven Learning Academy, and I've been teaching here for quite a few months now. And I do a variation of years with history and geography.
Welcome, Grace. And Grace is from the north, like me. I can tell. I'd much prefer to have a proper northern accent on a webinar. All of these southern accents, you know, my northern tribalism kicks in. The Lancashire, from Lancashire, we don't like it. If you're from Yorkshire or anywhere south of Stoke, we're not happy with you. But apart from that, welcome everyone. Thank you, Grace. Veranda.
Hi everyone. Yes, my name is Vernanda, and I'm also a teacher at Heaven Learning Academy, and I teach English.
Wonderful. Welcome. And Rachel.
Hello. So my name's Rachel, and I'm also an English teacher at Heaven Learning Academy.
Hello, Rachel. And finally, Kerry.
Hello. I teach, what do I teach at the moment? Science for year 1 and year 11 and year 9, sort of. But yeah, I flit around with all sorts of different things. Yeah.
You teach few subjects.
Adding more.
Few subjects. Sometimes English, math, science, plus music.
Yeah, languages.
Yeah, languages.
Yes.
There you go then.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Miss Carrie's antibiotic.
Thank you all so much for joining. So today we're going to be talking about parent-teacher collaboration through digital solutions, and we've got some obviously great panel and some really interesting topics to discuss. So there's quite a few of us on the call. So what I'm going to do is we'll go through questions and I'll give my input, and then maybe I'll point questions to specific people. But if anyone wants to jump in on any question, please kind of feel free. And then there are some specific questions for individuals as well. So I think probably the best place to start is what makes online schooling a good choice for today's students and families. And maybe I'm gonna ask Mr. Naveed to answer that, but I'll just put it in from a parent perspective. So from my perspective, we were forced into really online schooling because where we live, there wasn't really a school that could cater for my eldest daughter's needs. And you know, it was a couple of years ago now, we went through extensive research on different schools, and it was really nerve-wracking actually to even just go into online schooling. You know, I went through the national curriculum in a public school in the UK. It was a normal process that everyone went through. There wasn't online schooling, there wasn't homeschooling, that didn't even exist. So even the concept was alien to me. I think what led us to Heaven Learning Academy was the fact that, well, the first person I spoke to was Miss Nadia, and she's a teacher. And you can, and that kind of makes a difference, right? In that it was primarily a school, secondarily a business. And I think that was like the most important thing for me, is that even though at the time the school was relatively new, Heaven Learning Academy, it was and still is a school first, run by teachers, and that was kind of critical for me that was the case. But why do you think, Mr. Naveed, that online schooling is a smart choice for students and families nowadays?
In fact, the most important, especially when the COVID started, 2019. At that time, we realized the world has to divert somewhere, some other direction. So when you have got nothing else to do, you cannot go outside to do anything else. And especially, we are living in UK, so we explore the situation going on in the school, the important issues we found, bully system. Probably you all know and aware of this very, I'm sorry to say, this is like a hilarious word, but that bully is very killing our society. Children, they don't know what they are doing. And on the top, we realize that drugs is increasing in their schools. So parents, they are completely unaware. And on the top, when the children, they are going out, parents, they don't know either children, they are going to school or not. End of the day, only they meet teacher just end of the year, or something important when they find out. And apart from that, only they were just receiving later, and they bring it report card to the parents. Hey, you go, this is the report, but they don't know. Then we realized, we worked out, why not we can change slightly system. So the parents, they should know what exactly our children they are doing. When they are going to school, either they are going to learn something or wasting their life. So like when we work out this kind of scenarios, we figure out online is going to be the best option. So in front of the parents, they are not going out, they are taking their education from their comfort zone, best environment. So not to worry, it's raining outside, not to worry, it's snowing outside, or even any like any weather conditions, any other kind of the situation which is going on outside the house. So when the children, they are going to school, parents, they completely unaware. They gone to work, children gone to school. They meet each other in the evening time. So just a little bit time. But now at this time, when we start Heaven Learning Academy, so we thought that we're going to keep everybody in the loop. So parent, teachers, and we can keep an eye on all teachers, how they are doing it, if any issues, any problem. So like previously, mostly children, parents, they didn't know the children, they have got children, they are science student. But obviously our teacher, expert teacher, they take classes, they find out if any child has got a learning issue, learning disability, or any kind of things. So we can figure it out, and we can send them in a breakout room so we can manage this all kind of thing. So basically the main concept is learning from their comfort zone.
Yeah, I think they're all huge advantages.
Which was made more easier after COVID time. Before that, it was very difficult. After COVID, then we realized and we found the global world is coming close in your hand. which is online.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably the biggest advantage, right? Because one of the things that I think about a lot since leaving the UK is just how exceptional the British curriculum is. And it really is best in class. It really is like a best in class curriculum. And I think that what Heaven Learning Academy and other online schools do is bring that curriculum to all corners of the world, to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE and Egypt and Indonesia and all of that. And so maybe Rachel, maybe you can jump in on this question. Why do you think that the British curriculum is considered like one of the best curriculums in the world and one of the paths to great universities?
Oh, sorry, I had my microphone off.
That's okay.
Well, I think that there's a lot of emphasis on diversity and progression in the British curriculum. It definitely prepares students for higher education and excelling in their careers. And I think one thing that I think definitely stands out in the curriculum, and this is what the Department of Education are really kind of capitalizing on right now, is communicating British values. And those values are respect, tolerance, progression and resilience. And we can see in the curriculum, in the subjects that we teach, we are teaching life skills, not just, it's not just reading a book. It's, it's learning actually how to write academically and how to write properly, to use that in life. Writing is a life skill, which you need for everything. And I think in the curriculum, we have a lot of these wonderful values communicated. And I think it really does teach you life skills. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it, kind of being able to apply it to real life. So not only just for academic context, but actually learning skills and values, how to treat others, how to have empathy, how to be. And I think that is a really beautiful thing that, we get those kind of wonderful, beautiful values in the curriculum.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miss Nadia, because you've done online schooling in different parts of the world, like what's your take on the British curriculum?
In fact, in terms of British curriculum, it, like Rachel explained, everything, it explains, it makes us realize that why we are learning. It gives us so much practical implications into life. Like, for example, we are embedding value of the month. Every month, the children, they are preparing their learning log on the value of month. So they are preparing video, they are showing up their skills in writing, posters. So it is not only they are showing up their skills in videos or in the poster, they are actually learning that. For example, last month our value of the month was responsibility. One of our students, he folded all the clothes himself and he showed responsibility and he showed us the video. Another student, what he did, he made milkshake for himself. So he's taking on responsibility, and I'm talking about 5 years old children. So if you are thinking from age of 5, you are growing up with taking in those skills and you are applying it, you will be not dependent on your parents or any adult grown up when you will reach to the age of 11 or 12.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Similarly, if you are thinking about food technology, my older one, she has joined in university. I'm not worried about her because she can cook herself. She has learned many things, although she loves baking, but she has learned many things from school. She's quite independent in her management of like organization, food, and all the stuff. So the British curriculum actually not only teaches us life skills, it makes us independent.
I think that's really important. But also, I think that the British curriculum is structured around the application of knowledge as well as the acquisition of knowledge. And I think that's probably the difference that I see with my kids who are in a different curriculum. There's a greater focus in other curriculums on memorization, rote memorization of words. versus the application of knowledge. So I think that's really interesting. But then again, even in the British curriculum, not all schools are the same. And maybe I'll come to Kerry for this question. Why do you think Heaven Learning Academy stands out?
That's a very good question. I think having teachers from all different walks of life is quite a good way that we do that. I mean, everyone has their own sort of experience and methods. While we have, I guess, there are standards obviously that we all uphold, but we all have our own sort of unique spin on all of our subjects and our teaching, which I think goes a long way. Also, the classes themselves being small group sessions, it really does allow you to engage with the students and get a really good rapport with them. I mean, certainly for my year 11s, like there's a couple of students per class, and we definitely get a really good understanding of what the kids know. Which again, that's really great. If you don't know what the kids know, you can't help them. So it definitely helps them progress faster, and to keep track of what they know, what they're learning, how they learn, how quickly they learn, how you can push them, where you need to hold back, all of those things. So yeah, I think having different teachers, having small classes, and the communication is very good, I think, as well. So communication between teachers, between parents, between students even as well in classes, it goes a long way, I think, for making it an effective learning environment.
So that whole concept of class size is that's a deliberate decision, right, Mr. Naveed? And so what sort of impacted the decision-making process around having deliberately smaller class sizes?
In fact, basically, our policy is to give a better quality education rather than quantity. And this all credit really goes to Rosie. The way she managed it, it's not really easy. She very quick respond to all inquiries. Sometimes I just hands up. I don't know how she's managing it. When the teacher, they are saying, I'm unable to attend the class now. There you go, the problem started. To shuffle around the classes and manage the timetable. When she come to me and she asked me, say, I don't know. So she remember all the classes and time and how she managed it, but only just we kept her away from the phone. Please don't, because she doesn't want to. No, she doesn't want it, but obviously she hasn't got the time. Basically, all credit goes to Rosie, the way she's managing it. All teachers, I'm sure they know about that, and parents and children. But I'm really very satisfied the way the system goes. But important is a better quality education, not the quantity, which I'm quite happy.
And Rachel, what's the impact to you as a teacher of having smaller class sizes? How does that impact your ability to impart knowledge, if you like?
So before I worked with Heaven Learning Academy, I was managing classes of 30.
Oh God.
Yes. So obviously going from that in person, of course, to online with smaller groups, it really helped. Like it helped me kind of regain my kind of inspiration of why I wanted to be a teacher, because I felt like with the classes of 30, a lot of students get overlooked, and I'm the type of teacher where I want to get to everyone and I want it to be an individualized experience. And it was making me a little bit sad, like seeing, students, like I would be always kind of nagging. I had one, for example, I had a student that was Kurdish that had no translations for him, and I was trying to manage preparing my lessons, etc., and I was trying to get things translated for him, and it was a constant email. I think in the UK we try and be inclusive and we try and deliver a good education. However, when you've got 30 students, you've got diverse needs, you've got some speakers of different languages, it's hard to cater that for everybody. Whereas when you are online, the problems are so explicit, if there are any, and you can deal with it there and then. The lessons are recorded as well, which enables you to monitor learning. I've had it where I've gone back on one of my recordings, and then I've just kind of figured out that one of my students just couldn't quite pronounce a word, and then I've put that into the spellings for the next week. So it really allows for a really individualized experience. It really does, and it allows you to really kind of put a magnifying glass on the problems that students might face, rather than just skimming over them. And it is unfortunate, but I think within real life learning, it's so hard to not just skim over students as much as you care, as much as you're passionate. Unless you've got the whole day to sit there and analyze each student, it's so hard. Whereas an online environment allows lessons to be recorded, monitored. It allows you to really see each student for the individual. It's a real individualized experience, and I think that is what makes it so much better and so much more inclusive and friendly and accessible for students. Definitely.
I think you probably all agree with that, right, Vananda? And I'm sure that for you as a teacher, that has a great impact. Can you share maybe the story of a student? Maybe you don't have to, if you're embarrassed or you think they'll embarrass easily, maybe don't share their name. But an example of a student who's made great progress because you've been able to give them personalized attention.
Yes, of course. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was for Vananda.
Go on.
Well, yes, Rachel gave an excellent example of what we do here at Heaven Learning Academy. And I do have students who have struggled, even with our smaller classes, they sometimes just need individual attention. And I do have a wonderful student. He has all the courage and the confidence to learn, but unfortunately, he does need the individual attention and patience. So it started off very slow, but with time, patience, and consistency, we really did build his knowledge and his capability. And I feel like in Heaven Learning Academy, we are creating an environment where we make sure that every student have access to this type of education. Because as we said, that sometimes in a class of 30, there's just not enough time. If it's one teacher, unfortunately, you cannot give this type of attention to every single student. But in Heaven Learning Academy, that's why I'm so proud of being part of this team, is because we can give our students this attention. And it has worked. I have so many, how can I say, evidence of tests and worksheets that I have discussed with parents while we were checking in, and the parents were happy. The parents have seen their rise in confidence. My students are happy coming to class because they know they're in an environment where they know if they make mistakes, they're comfortable, because so many students are so afraid of making mistakes in classes. But in Heaven Learning Academy, they trust their teachers. They trust them enough to be able to make mistakes, because we will help them. We will be patient with them. We will give them all the needed resources, and we will walk this journey with them.
That's brilliant. That's great to hear. So I'm going to put you on the spot now, Vananda. So in the example of the student that you just gave, if you were in it, let's call it a traditional classroom with 30 students, which I think is the standard in the UK, do you believe his academic progress would be the same as it is now?
No, unfortunately not. And that's the sad part, because I know that having a class of traditionally 30 children, it's the norm. It's normal. I'm from South Africa, and our public and private schools have classes of up to 30 children. And I believe that if my student were in a traditional classroom, he would unfortunately be overlooked. I don't think that it would be intentional. I just think that he needs the individual attention, and with a class of 30 children, it wouldn't be possible. Because with a class of 30, the teachers usually have a set curriculum, and they kind of treat it as a checklist. They have to just get through the work. But in Heaven Learning Academy, we are encouraged that we work with the students until they understand, until they get the concept. and then we can move forward. So, and that sometimes, my point being that sometimes it takes a little bit of time and patience. So, no, I don't think that our student would have been able to bloom in his education as much as he is doing now in Heaven Learning Academy.
Yeah, I think I'm being inclined to agree. I think probably we would all agree, right? There are 3 pillars I realized very quickly to a great education when you're choosing an online school. So the school is the first one. It's the one that everyone focuses on because it's the entity being paid, right? So whether we like it or not, we live in a society whereby we pay for services and we expect to receive a service. Then the second element is the student and their ability to focus and to give their attention to the environment. And one of the things that I'm very conscious of is probably the most overlooked element, which is the role of the parent, which I think parents have a much greater responsibility in a positive way when it comes to choosing an online school. And the reason is because of, they are then responsible for the physical environment that the child is working in. And I think that one of the things that we as Heaven Learning Academy have done really, really well is have very positive parent collaboration, taking feedback and giving feedback to parents really well. And I'm going to come to Miss Nadia on this one, because I know that this is a thing that you focus on really a lot. So what do you think is, if you were to, regardless of whether the parent watching this has a child at Heaven Learning Academy or any other online school, what do you think are the most important responsibilities for a parent when their child is in an online school?
In my perception, it is parents' prime responsibility to provide an environment which is quiet, where they should have enough, like a small corner inside the house where there is no distractions. The child can learn in their own way. The child should be able to understand. I'm not saying that the parent should not visit the child. In and out, you can visit the child, because you need to make sure the child is actually not browsing other websites and they are learning actually. You need to keep an eye on the child, but you need to keep the child distraction free. That is a primary responsibility. The second responsibility for a parent is just to make sure the child is doing homework. We do have many digital application through which we monitor if the child is doing homework or not, how much time they are spending for each and every single subject. For example, IXL for English, Maths and Science up to KS3. So when we are tracking a child's record, we actually we see how much time they have spent on IXL, what they are learning. And even as a teacher, it tells us the gaps in the child's learning as well, how much mistakes the child is making on IXL. Then again, we have TESOMI for older year groups, year 9, GCSEs. It gives out a record that how much practice they are doing until their GCSE final examination. Again, we have TTRS. Our children love TTRS. They sing the song and they even dance over the song of TTRS. They are in love with it. And believe me, they don't leave it. So we had to put a barrier of 60 minutes every day playtime for TTRS, because they were not ready to leave it. And we would start having complaints from the parents. There is so much increased screen time. Can you please cut it down? So we have put a barrier of 60 minutes every day. They cannot use it more than 60 minutes. And then we have numboards. Children love numboards. It's like a video game, but they are learning maths. And then we have A to Z Learning, which is our digital library platform. So the children, they can learn from phonics until the age of 12. They have variety of books available, so they can read the books, and even the teacher, they can track record of children's books. Rachel deals with the library session. She can throw some light over it as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
So on Fridays, what I do is I deliver a half-an-hour session where I just go through books which are recommended to students of all different year groups across the British curriculum. And these books are always, I do my research and I go on different websites, and I always make sure I'm creating books that reflect what we're learning at current in literature, at present in literature, and also books which are used for vocabulary strengthening, for phonetic decoding, all of that kind of thing. So it's really kind of helpful for parents to look on those videos, like look back on them on Merit Hub and go, oh, I might get that book from the library, or oh, I might have a look if there's an ebook on that, or oh, I might buy that book. So each Friday there will always be recommendations, at least 2, sometimes more, and as well for the classes that are doing assessments, or they've got a specific piece of literature that they're studying. For example, year 9 are now studying Great Expectations. There will always be kind of literature related to that. So for example, one of the recommended reads was Dickens' England, all about Victorian England, which develops their knowledge on context. So it all kind of feeds into what they're learning. It's all applicable and it's all really helpful for them. So I also ask them to tell me about what they've been reading, and give me like feedback on what they've been reading, rate it out of 10, and again reflect on why reading is important. But sometimes if students aren't reading, that's when parents need to kind of take responsibility and give them the nudge. So it's a lesson that kind of nudges them in the right direction, but in reality the parent needs to be nurturing that kind of reading environment, take the recommendations and apply them, because if not, students will just listen to recommendations and not apply them, whereas they are really, really helpful for their learning if they do actually read them.
Fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to finish off with some quick fire questions. I'll go first, and I'm going to go to Kerry. And I'm only saying that so that Kerry is prepared. So the first question is, not that Kerry is not prepared, by the way. It's just because I didn't want to shock her. All right. So the first one is: if you had to describe Heaven Learning Academy in 3 words, what would they be and why? So I will go with
yes, Kerry.
Honest. No, I'm going to go first so that Kerry's got a bit of time to prep, and everyone else as well, right? So
yes, Kerry, you can do it.
The first one is I'm going to say honest. I think that Heaven Learning Academy is very honest, and that works 2 ways, right? It's not just about being honest about the things that are going well, but also the things that aren't going well. They're honest with parents, they're honest with themselves, they're honest with students. I think that the second one is responsible. They take it very personally. They take the whole concept of your child's education, of my child's education, as a personal mission, not as certainly not as a business, and definitely not as a chore, as something that a mission in life. It's like that. I very much feel like. It sounds a bit corny to say it, but it kind of feels like you were made to do this. This is like your calling in life, and it kind of comes through in the way that you handle students and parents and teachers as well, right? You can feel it. And I think the third word I would use to describe Heaven Learning Academy is innovative. I will say innovative because I think that just over the last couple of years, the amount of tools and technologies that you've introduced to help students and parents along with their education has been phenomenal, and has really kind of helped push the boundaries. All right, so I padded quite a lot there, Kerry, for you. So hopefully you're good and ready. 3 words from you.
Oh, it's funny that you ended with innovative, because I wrote down my 3 while you were talking, and I wrote down progressive as my first one. That's the first thing that came to my mind. for very similar reasons to what you said. I mean, the Academy are always looking for ways that we can enhance student learning. I mean, from webinars and sessions. We had that session, the Space Week session, that was really cool. The kids loved that. To just using the digital platforms and pushing the boundaries of what we can do to help the students learn. So that was my first one. And then I had collaborative for most of the things that we spoke about already, collaborations between parents, between students, between teachers, making sure that everyone is taking part in the students' learning and not just a kind of receptor. The students aren't just there listening to things, like they shouldn't be, of course. And then I wrote down caring, because I think that kind of sums up how the teachers feel and hopefully how the students feel about the teachers. They feel that we care about them. And of course, all of the staff, not just the teachers, but all of the staff are invested in the students' progress. So, I mean, teachers predominantly, because we get it on a day-to-day, but everyone that's here cares about how the students are doing. So yeah, progressive, collaborative, caring were my three.
Beautiful. So I'm going to go to Vananda next, and then Rachel, and we'll end with Naveed and Nadia, so that they've got the hardest job. So Vananda, would you like to go next?
Yes, of course. So I would say my first is inclusive. So what I love about Heaven Learning Academy is that we definitely are inclusive to all students. Not only are we worldwide, we can bring in teachers from all over the world and students as well. But I feel like we can cater to students with all different backgrounds and education as well. We as teachers make sure that we meet them where they are and we help them to accomplish where they need to be. Also innovative as well. So we make sure that we make learning fun. We make sure that they have everything they need, exactly like with fun webinars. The students could not stop talking about the space webinar that they had. It was a topic for weeks to come. And I'm excited to bring that in even more. I mean, there's so many different topics that can be included here as well. And then I would say last is empowering, because I feel education is power. So, and with our students as well, and with my, how can I say, with my students who struggle, I can see the difference it makes when they get something right, when they learn something new. It empowers them. It makes them more confident. It gives them the confidence to be more, to try more, to be to think outside of the box. It gives them the opportunity to not just only, how can I say, be where they are, but to think big, to think worldwide. So, and I feel like Heaven Learning Academy, we can provide them with that. So yes.
Fabulous. Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say for my first word, supportive, because I feel like Heaven Learning Academy is a very nurturing environment. I think we really do support and we listen. If a parent is ever unhappy or has a query, we will be there, we will answer it, we will support students, parents, we will support each other. And I think it's a really beautiful team that we have. I think it's very supportive, and I think everyone feels like heard and seen. Another word I would say to describe Heaven Learning Academy is personalised, because of the kind of quality over quantity approach. We've got smaller class sizes, and therefore we can personalise learning. We can really see students, so it's a very personalised environment. And I think again, it's that idea of students being seen and really kind of having their education shaped for them, to them, for them. And lastly, I would say resilient. I think we're a resilient team. Of course, we do have our technology glitches sometimes, and it takes resilience to be able to deliver education via a virtual environment. And I think our students prove resilient when they do their homework and when they are in lesson and they're engaged. We've got this real sense of resilience and perseverance growing in our students. And I think that idea of resilience really kind of screams when I think of Heaven Learning Academy, because it is truly, as everyone said, it's progressive, it's determined to provide that education for students.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, now we can hear from Naveed.
Yeah. So I would say the best word for my school, Heaven Learning Academy, is a competitive. So point number one, I'm really proud of my teachers. They are really well qualified, experienced, and they are making my children competent and getting them ready to go outside and win the game. And the other word I would say, stress-free. So when they are learning in a school, teachers, they help them a lot to give them motivation, and they have to dedicate themselves. They are good and fit for the school. Anything missing, teachers are here to help, and we are also part of the team. So here to help all the time. And I would say the third point will be challenge. So the children, they are, as you are aware, that we have got children from all different diversity and different community, and they are really challenging, and they will achieve the target. So I would say these are the best words for the children and for everyone, to be honest.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
And finally, Ms. Sajid.
Yes, Heaven Learning Academy is prestigious, first of all. Why it is prestigious? Because we make every person special. Every child who is joining in Heaven Learning Academy, we are committed for them, never ever give up, follow our tailored approach. We will develop individual learning plan according to personalized way, and we will support them until they reach to their career pathway.
Perfect.
Second is diverse. We have been hearing the word of diversity. What is diversity? You can see in our school. You can see the teachers from diverse background. You can see the students from diverse background, and the students who have joined us from diverse background. We already know that they are not from British curriculum, but we are bringing them up. We are wising them up to get to the British standard. Until they reach to the British standard, they are supported. For other children, they have holidays, but for those children, they are feeling behind. They are falling behind in their learning. There are no holidays. We have a commitment to fulfill the gaps, to fill the gaps, to support them. And the third one is supportive. We are providing a supportive environment, and recent inclusion of service that we have added in our school is pastoral session. One of each teacher is a pastoral lead for a particular year group. They will be doing 15 to 20 minutes of session every day outside their class hours. The students will not learn in those hours, but they will talk. They will talk to the teacher like they have a class teacher, and the teachers can hear to them. They can understand their problems. They can understand the challenges facing by the students, and then they can communicate with the senior leadership team. It will help us not only develop their individual learning plan, but it will also help us to support them throughout their career pathway.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Guys. Yeah, I think it's as if you guys practiced it, because we didn't send you these questions beforehand,
No,
did we?
no practice.
It's like,
Coming
yeah,
from
it's great.
inside.
All right, well, let's
You're going to be asking these three
test that theory.
points, Mr. Aziz?
And one more thing, our GCSE and A-level students, they are coming back to us after doing their final examination. because we offered them doing virtual work experience, which they did not accept because of the workload of GCSE and A levels. They have to do the virtual work experience because according to the British curriculum, they need to have that 3 weeks of virtual work experience to get into A levels and further into university. So
all right, we're going to do one last quick question.
We are not saying goodbye to them.
We're going to do one last quick fire question. Quick responses from everybody. I'll start. We'll go in the same order as last time. So what do you love most about being part of the Heaven Learning Academy team? I'll start. What I love most about being part of the team is that we are actually genuinely making a difference in people's lives. There isn't anything, frankly, more important than education, and we are delivering the highest quality of education to kids around the world who wouldn't ordinarily have access to that level of education. Kerry?
I'm going to be really, really cheesy and say the children. For me, it really is the kids. Like, that's why I'm in this profession, and the kids that are at Heaven are really first class. They really are. I mean, one of your children, of course, I work with on a daily basis. She's great. Every student that I teach is just, so willing to learn, so kind, so yeah, just on the ball. I just love them all. So yeah, sorry everyone else for taking that answer.
Yes, so I would say just the entire community of Haven Learning Academy. I would say that we have such a supportive community. The teachers, we all have one goal, and it is to support our children here and to make sure that they have the best education. So it's so easy to work together. Everyone is just have such great, encouraging personalities that I would say it's just easy to work towards being the greatest school, because if you need something, our school provides it. If the children need something, our teachers, we stand together to make sure that they get that. So yes, I would just say our supportive community.
Beautiful. Rachel?
So I would say my favorite thing about my job at Heaven Learning Academy would be the sense of purpose that I get from it. I feel like we're not just ticking boxes, we're not just overlooking students, we're actually making a real difference. And that's what's really beautiful, actually being able to deliver an education and really see each student for who they are. I think that's a really beautiful thing, and it's very purposeful.
Lovely. And Naveed?
If I'm going to say anything about Heaven Learning Academy, so obviously it's going to be good. I like my team, and I really love the collaboration we have got, and I want my team all together. Good coordination, good collaboration between children, parents, and the teacher themselves, including admin as well.
Fantastic. And finally, Nadia.
It's a very hard question for me. Heaven Learning Academy it's not a school. It's a dream where I am living with my dad. It's not, I'm getting very emotional. It is not a school. It is not an institution. It is the purpose of life. It is the purpose of life that can bring a change, not inside me, my family. It should bring a change to the people who cannot access the education, the world-class education. This is the purpose. And it is not about money-making business. It is about bringing the change and getting the prayers from others. The main mission is to bring a change in life, bring a change to the people who cannot even access the education from their doorstep. We do have 2 of the students that have learning disabilities, and they are growing really well. Bless them. Believe me, they are growing really well, and their parents are informing us all the schools in their area, they have rejected our children. That's the change I want to bring in the society. That's the change I'm looking through Heaven Learning Academy.
Yes. I think a better way to end today's podcast. Thank you, Ms. Nadia, Mr. Naveed, Rachel, Vedanta, and Kerry. Thank you all so much for taking the time. And thank you all for watching and listening. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.